Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, wherever and whenever you are joining us. The date is Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 at 9:22 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to our latest edition of What Caught My Eye, or WCME Sports. As always, I'm your host, the coach Nick Vesci, joined by the boy Stephen Vesci.
What up?
And currently indisposed again in closing and purchasing a car. A new Subaru Ascent, a beautiful vehicle, is the man Stephen Kamla. Hopefully he will be back next week. Now, if you're new to our show, we like to think of ourselves as the sports show for sports fans about sports. We like to focus on what happens inside the lines of competition rather than the outside rhetoric that unfortunately dominates much of our sporting headlines nowadays. Now, before we get into our top catch for the evening, a reminder to follow us on all of our socials. That's on X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Snapchat, and Threads at WCME_sports. Our episodes drop every Wednesday at noon on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And all that information can be found on our website, WCMEsports.com. Now, without further ado, we get into our top catch for the show. And this week we went with Anthony Kim, the golfer winning Live Golf Adelaide. Now, if you didn't know this, because it did happen on the other side of the globe, Live Golf Adelaide, they played there in Australia every year. That is like their Waste Management Phoenix Open. It is the party tournament, the party hole, and all that stuff, right? But all of that took a backseat to the story of Anthony Kim, right? He got his first professional win since 2010, so that's a span of 16 years, after he carded a final round 63 or 9 under, which was good for a 3-shot victory over Jon Rahm. Kim narrowly missed a 20-foot birdie putt on 18 that would have given him the course record. It was his first win in 5,796 days. Right? Before 2024, which is when at the end of 2024, he joined Live. He had been away from competitive golf for 12 years. Right? He was dealing with alcohol and drug abuse and an Achilles tear that he had in 2012. And after he tore his Achilles and withdrew from, I think it was the Wells Fargo, you got to quote me on that, withdrew from that right before with his Achilles tear. Essentially, no one knew him. No one knew where he was. He was a recluse as he was dealing with these substance abuse issues. And that kind of felt like that's where the Anthony Kim story ended. Now, his story began with a meteoric rise. I was telling Stevie before this, a la what we saw from Jordan Spieth when he first arrived on the scene. Tom Kim was another comparison I gave, who just the success at such a young age. I think at 22, he was on the U.S. Ryder Cup team in 2008, I believe, that won. He got as high as number 6 in the world. Like, he was one of the best golfers in the world at the time and a rising star in the sport. And then nothing, radio silence. Like, again, many people outside of golf wouldn't have known he even existed, right? And so for him to come back at the end of 2024, in and of itself, seemed like a massive victory. Well, last year, he still wasn't on a team on Live. He was playing as essentially a wild card, sponsor exemption, and all these things. And he finished dead last in Live standings, which meant that he got relegated. And if he wanted to come back, he had to earn his way back through these qualifying tournaments. Well, he finished, I think, third through the one of the tournaments, and that earned his spot back onto Liv's roster. Well, this past week, was playing on the Four Aces, which is captained by Masters champion Dustin Johnson, and Anthony Kim is only on the Four Aces because Patrick Reed left them a few weeks ago because he didn't come to an agreement to re-sign with Liv. So not only was in a span of a few months, Anthony Kim not on a tour, not on anything, not on a team, not with Liv, he went from that to on a team, and then on this Four Aces team with a chance in the final pairing, or no, final grouping, playing with Jon Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau, two of the top 5 or 10, who depending on who you ask, golfers in the world. Anthony Kim is playing with them, right? And again, we're talking
2 guys who have major wins in the last few years.
Yes, we're talking 16 years from his last professional victory, right? 14 years from when he left the sport altogether and essentially fell off the face of the earth. He's in the final grouping with two of these two heavyweights, and he overcame a 5-shot deficit entering that final round. He birdied 5 of his final 7 holes to claim that 3-shot victory. It's one of the most improbable victories you'll ever hear, because when we talk about comeback stories and everything that goes into it, was it 5,796 days between victories, right?
Is there any like equivalent to this at all in other sports? Like, has there been like a NASCAR driver maybe that did this? Because like in other sports, I don't think you can do this.
Well, you spend over a decade away
that long out, out of the sport.
I don't know. Right? I mean, it's you're not a decade, but Rick Ankiel comes to mind baseball wise, where the pitcher.
He was out
completely, remade himself to come back in. Yep. I mean, he didn't win a golf tournament. He had decent years when he came back to center fielder. So I mean that was the first one that came to my mind. But again, also yes, Rick Ankiel spoke about the drinking before the games and all that stuff, but again, Anthony Kim was dealing with true alcohol and drug abuse. Like, he was fighting demons just to, live another day, basically, right? So for him to make this comeback after all those things, and him say, I believe that, his wife brought it up and said, don't do it for anyone but yourself and your daughter. And he said that was it. That's all the motivation he needed. So to watch that was really special. It's something that, like you said, boy, maybe no one's seen something like that, right? And yes, we could say, well, it's live golf. It was in Australia. It's, Olympics are happening, all those other things. But at the same time, 16 years before victories. and not just 16 years where this guy's been playing the whole time and you just had a string of bad fortune, right? Where, it's not, always the bridesmaid, never the bride type of thing. No, he was gone out, like people wondering if he'd ever pick up a club again, struggling. He so bad that he couldn't walk, struggling to walk into rehab, physically couldn't even get into it. So we're talking about someone who was battling some of the darkest things that a human can battle off of the playing surface, and coming back and winning, and doing it again against Jon Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau. And not just, they're playing in the same tournament. He's teeing off every hole with them. He is staring and staying next to them the whole time.
That mental fight that, the best golfers, when you're in that situation or whatever, you see Tiger Woods just mentally destroy someone, Scottie Scheffler mentally destroy someone, and Rahm and DeChambeau, again, we said 2 guys who have won majors in the last few years.
Multiple,
yeah. To do that's incredible.
And to do it the way he did it too. To close birdieing 5 of the last 7, like we said, he narrowly missed the putt on 18. It would have made that 6 of his final 7 holes, right? To be on that type of year, to close that much, that he gets to 18 with a 3-shot lead, knowing this, I have it in the bag. This is it. It's over. I did it. And that even makes it that much more improbable and that much more amazing that Anthony Kim was able to do this. I know the golf world, regardless of what they think of live and whatnot, is extremely happy for Anthony Kim. We all should be, because it is, the pure triumph of man over whatever obstacles come in man's way. It is the example that humans can accomplish and do things that are really hard. Right?
Everybody loves a good comeback story.
Thanks, Kim Kardashian.
Robert Downey Jr., Rocky, Kim Kardashian.
Yep. Watch that video. Right. But yes, and the fashion in which he did it, is it taken away because it happened on the other side of the world from where we are in the States? I guess. But the accomplishment won't be diminished in terms of the eyes of the golf world and of golf people, and especially Anthony Kim. Right? To have that full circle moment, to do that with his wife and his daughter there, is pretty special. And again,
that's awesome.
he wasn't even on a team until a couple weeks ago.
I mean, it's crazy. That doesn't happen ever. Like there's no like I'm trying to just wrap my head around like any sports equivalent in other things that someone else. I mean, I guess someone has to be the first to do it. Like Josh Hamilton's the only thing that really comes to mind. I know Phillip Rivers came back after 4 years off to play a few games, but that's nothing like this. I mean, it's tough, but it's not like this. I mean, Josh Hamilton feels like the closest thing, but even that's not 16 years
16
away
years
or whatever it was. Like
16 years between victories, 12 years away. And this marks, again, 14 years since his last PGA Tour event. And again, yes, he's competing on Live, but just an incredible story from AK. And again, something that everyone was rooting for. It was one of those where no matter who you were happy to see this because it gives hope to everyone. It really does, right? Regardless of what you're dealing with. You could be dealing with something as serious as what Anthony Kim had been dealing with this last, over a decade, or it could just be something trivial, whatever trivial means to you, right? But to see that, everyone is dealing with something and everyone has the ability to overcome obstacles that are incredibly difficult. It lifts people up. And the reason I wanted to have this as the top catch is because isn't this why we watch sports? Isn't this why we, do the things we do? Yes, we love the success. We love watching Kurt Signetti mow down everyone, but even them in the Indiana story is an underdog story, right? And you root for these things because you see yourself. Right, you see the people on there, and you know that they're fallible, and you see some of yourself in it, right? Because you know that you yourself are fallible, and sometimes when you see like the perfection and the greatness and how beautiful that is and fun to watch, it's kind of you're disassociative of it because you're not that. You'll know perfection is unattainable, right? Tin cup. You know that, and it's fun to watch that perfection sometimes, but it's also just as enjoyable to watch the imperfection because the imperfection is us. That's our existence. That's everyone who's ever stepped foot on this planet besides the select few, and even them, they have their struggles and things, right? They got 99 problems, but that ain't one.
Okay.
So just to see something like this happen, it gives everyone hope, whether you're a golf fan or not, whether you even knew who Anthony Kim was or not, or were familiar with the story. Doesn't matter, right? You read one article, maybe you hear us talk about it, and you realize and you know that, yes, I can do hard things. Things that I could be struggling with, that I'm dealing with, I can accomplish it because I watched another human being do something so difficult and take so much time. 16 years, right? That's almost an entire child's life from birth to adulthood, right? Just the sheer length of that is mind-blowing to think about it. But he did it. And so you know that it can be done.
First of all, through God, all things are possible, so jot that down.
Thank you, Mac. Thank you.
Oh, what's this, a pen?
That looks like a dick. Thank you, Mac.
All right. Yep.
Anything else, boy, before we move on to our 3 strikes?
No, that's an incredible story, and that's something I had no idea when you mentioned him. Like, I don't know who he is because I wasn't paying attention to golf in 2010, 2012, whatever, in that era. I wasn't really paying attention, and for you to say that and then like recap the story, I think it's incredible.
Yeah, really is. All right, boy, hit the button. Strike 1 goes to the boy today. Boy?
Yeah, so I was at the University of Richmond versus UVA lacrosse game over the weekend. That was my first collegiate lacrosse game I think I've seen in person. Pretty sweet. Number 8 versus number 13. U of R was number 8. UVA was number 13. We paid for 50-yard line seats upper deck. I mean, if you've been to University of Richmond Stadium, there's only 2 levels. So upper level,
Levels,
right in front
Jerry.
of the boxes, 50-yard line on the aisle, like right next to the 50. Thinking, oh, you know what? These are great. This is awesome. But then having a toddler that wants to run around and move, we did not get to sit in the seats. So we walked. But it was nice though having it at U of R Stadium. The track is right there, and they have like a concourse area that butts up into like these hedges, and you can watch the game from there. It was a little tougher to see, but still awesome. You're basically on like field level watching the game, which is pretty sweet. University of Richmond put the work on UVA, belt to ass, as the kids say. Game was 18-12. I believe Aiden O'Neill, 5 goals in that game. He is really good.
Any relation to Brennan O'Neill? Is that his name?
That's a good
from
question.
the
I'm not sure.
Denver Outlaws.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure. They do both play a similar position. Very different body types though. Joe Sheridan with 4 goals, Daniel Picard 3, Gavin Creo 2. University of Richmond worked UVA. It was fun. It was fun to watch. My first lacrosse game, I'll probably go to some more because if you do not know, my wife did play lacrosse in college, so she wants to go see lacrosse if she gets a chance to. And going to U of R, it's 10 minutes away from my house. $15, $20 tickets, easy to do. And a team that could potentially win the national championship. So
yes,
that's. I mean, I think they moved up to number 6.
Yeah, they were
standings.
They were I believe semifinalists last year. They got the Final Four, and you're right that one big thing, especially in lacrosse, just the same way as it is in hockey, there aren't that many teams that make the postseason, right? So you think, oh, I'm ranked number 7, 8 in the country. I'm in good shape, like you would be in basketball or even football, but it's not the case, right? You want to eliminate that margin for error of, well, if I don't win my conference championship, do I still get in? And by U of R getting a win like that against UVA, yes, UVA is not predicted to turn heads like last they have in previous years.
Yeah.
But to get that type of win is massive.
Yes.
For your at-large status, even this early in the season.
Yeah. The UVA faithful, I mean, they came out in full force, right? It's only an hour from Charlottesville. It was probably like 60-40 Richmond fans, maybe 50-50. It was pretty close to even the game. Richmond. Yeah, Richmond. But the UVA fans left very disappointed, listening to them in the parking lot going, what the fuck happened? Like, what an embarrassment. Are you kidding me? Like, no, University of Richmond is the better team.
They are. And I think that's where just from a UVA perspective, that's where the embarrassment would come from, is that,
it's like, if you're like Alabama losing to Indiana in the college football playoff,
correct.
You're going, that name doesn't make sense. Like, what the hell is this? And it's like, no, that team's better.
Correct. They are better. They're ranked higher, and they've proven, this is 2 years, they've proven that they are a better team.
Quarter, I think in the third quarter, U of R outscored UVA like something like, I think maybe 5-1 or something. I was like, oh, they just opened it up.
Yeah.
And I will say one issue with U of R's stadium: no beer sales, no alcohol sales.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised because they do in basketball. They sell.
Do they not sell during football games?
I don't know. It maybe that's what it is. The stadium. I don't know, but shockingly, they did not have any alcohol. I mean, there was a good UVA contingent tailgating.
Well, I believe if you were at a UVA game, Klockner Field is the name of the field they play on. I don't think they have any concessions at all. Like, I think because it's like it backs up to the baseball stadium, so I think you have to go to the baseball stadium's concession stands if you wanted something. So you're technically like walking out of the stadium on like a concourse level, if it's even open. So I guess I could understand that from that perspective. of not having anything. Because I
But they
do
did
not
have,
believe
like,
there's
I mean,
any
their
concessions at
concessions
all.
were open.
Uh,
No, the concessions were open.
oh,
So you had burgers, dogs, chicken tenders, cheesesteaks, waters, sodas. They had a mocktail. That's what confused me, because they had a mocktail that was like a benefits went to animal shelters. So I bought one of those. It's pretty good, but
well, that's where you just bring
like
your airplane
mocktail, I
bottle
can't.
out of your sock and pour it
Yeah,
into.
should
So
have done it.
yeah, put some.
But yeah, I was well, because I was surprised. I was thinking, like, the basketball games, I can go in there and I can get a drink, I can get a beer,
Mm-hmm.
no problem. And I was thinking, like, oh, this is gonna be great. Sit there, walk around with beer. Nope. But so that's my only complaint. Spiders. Get some beer sales for your lacrosse games. It'd be so much more fun. Get your fans a little rowdier. Your team's good.
There's a
National
spider.
championship good.
Spider.
Yeah. Got spider fever.
Woo! Yep, I like it. All right, hit the button for strike two. All right, strike two. I'm going with the Daytona 500, America's race. The biggest race
Turn left.
on the NASCAR schedule. Go in a circle. Go in a circle. Go in a circle.
Fuck you, Danica.
Yep. So if you missed it, obviously, like every race, the best part was the end. But it was, I thought, a fairly clean race throughout. Not as many cautions as I feel like you normally see at a restrictor plate track, such as Daytona. But Tyler Reddick, he made a last lap pass of Chase Elliott for his 9th career win in his 219th career start. It's his first Daytona 500 victory. It was the only lap he led all day, was the last turn and little stretch.
It was like that short track in the Olympics, that guy that won, that everyone just wiped out, and this guy who was nowhere near just goes whoop, skates to a gold medal. And apparently that's how he got there in the semis too. He did the exact same thing.
But this wasn't the case there. He wasn't. Tyler Reddick was not hanging back. Tyler,
slingshot engaged.
Yes, absolutely. His teammate, I believe, at 2311 Racing, Riley Herbst, gave him a huge push, and Reddick used that, went around one person on the outside, then came back on the inside to pass Elliott, held him off, and then as he's crossing the line, it's just carnage behind him. Someone gets clipped, and it's just everyone all over the place. But it's the 4th time in history that the winner of the Daytona 500 led only one lap, and that was the last lap. Kind of crazy that it's happened 4 times, right, when you think about that. The final lap in and of itself was crazy. The leaders off the restart, you thought Michael McDowell, who runs his track so well, his team gambled so much. Literally everyone else went to pit but him, and he stayed out there. And so he is far ahead of everyone on the track, but obviously knowing that if it stays green and there's no caution, I'm going to get caught eventually, even though I'm so far ahead. Well, the caution came, and it's like, yes, you gambled and it paid off, right? The caution came. He goes back out there, restarting in the lead. Well, fairly quick off the restart, he goes out, and a all bunch of people get taken out. And for me, thankfully, they didn't release the yellow. They let it play out, right?
Yeah,
which I like,
I hate when that
because
happens.
because it would have just started a string of restart,
Or
restart,
when they
restart,
finish-
and
yeah, or when they finish under caution or whatever.
yeah, no, it would have just been restart, 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 and that final lap would have taken an hour and a half, and it would have been pointless and just ruined the race, to be honest. Which again, I thought was a very clean and well run race the whole time, right? So you had
the NASCAR ends of races are similar to college basketball end of games.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, everything's going smooth, whatever going, and then all of a sudden the last 2 minutes takes an hour, and it's just chaos everywhere. And then it's like, okay, caution, timeout, whatever.
Yes.
It's like, golly, can we finish the damn game? Can we finish the race?
Yes. No, I agree. And I think that weighed into the decision by NASCAR to not, release, put the yellow up at all during that lap and let it play out, because, that's one, NASCAR has lost some viewership. in the last decade or so. And I think one of the reasons is they made the whole thing so convoluted and complex that if you're not studying what's going on, you don't understand what's happening.
Which is stages.
Yeah,
I really do. I hate the stages. Do you like? Because I'm looking up there at the thing and it says, I know they've been around for a while now, but it says like, 25 laps to go in stage 1, and with 160 laps left in the race. Like, I don't care about the stages.
The idea is always about money, right? And what I mean by that is sponsorship money. So it allows more people to earn more points, which means in theory more guys are relevant longer in the season. So that means their sponsors get
Dennett Racing.
Yes, their sponsors get shown on the cars more often, right? And the restarts and all those things happening, and the choppy ends,
right? You're going
slow. You're going slow, and everyone's in the picture, so everyone's sponsor gets seen, right? So it comes back to that, really. And those are the things that have hurt NASCAR because it's become less about the racing and more about other noise, right? Especially as we saw in this offseason with the sanctimonious court cases that happened. But we finally got the racing. I didn't realize that 2311 added 2 cars. All right, so they always have Bubba Wallace, the 23, and Tyler Reddick, the 45. Michael Jordan's 2 numbers that he wore in basketball. By the way, boy, I don't know if you knew that.
That's
hilarious, right?
He decided to put 45 like that. They made that a thing. Like,
yes,
23 makes sense. Like, just give me the best drivers wearing 23, right? Or not wear, but driving 23. But to put 45 is absolutely hilarious.
And you know what? I love Bubba Wallace is the other one. Bubba Wallace is a solid driver. Bubba always does fairly well at the Daytona 500. I think he came in 10th, which for him is a little disappointing for how well he normally runs at that track. But one of the reasons Bubba got the 23 is he seemed like the, I guess, higher prospect, right? The more likely to take off, and Reddick was just the guy that they signed. And yeah, Reddick's last season, by his standards, would be a little disappointing. But you heard me at the beginning of the year. One of my bold predictions is Tyler Reddick will win the NASCAR Cup Series championship. He, in my opinion, is a top-notch driver. So don't, to me, this victory is one of those that helps take him off. He might be my favorite driver right now. With Kevin Harvick, with Kevin Harvick retiring and being great in the booth as he is. I do love Denny Hamlin because he is the local guy, and I love the fact that people don't like him because I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Mix it up.
Exactly. But I like Tyler Reddick a lot. I think he's definitely, in my opinion, surpassed Bubba Wallace for the top driver on that team. And like I said, they added 2 other people. Riley Herbst was one of them, and I forgot the other. But for the most part,
what numbers are they?
They ran well. I forget. I don't remember
because he wore it as like a one.
No. I think Riley Herbst had like a 1 in his.
What was his number in? Was his baseball number 45 too?
Yeah.
What was his baseball?
Was it 23 or 44? Something like that. I don't remember. Maybe one of them probably has the number that he wore during the Olympics. Right? Which is great. But it's the first Daytona 500 victory for 2311 Racing.
He wore 45 with the White Sox.
Which is, phenomenal, right? As a team that many people probably gave the same attitude towards, like they did towards Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mack at Wrexham, right? Of, this is for show. Oh, it's Michael Jordan. This is for show, right? No, they're a legitimate force to be reckoned with in NASCAR at this point. They're a legitimate team. They have built the infrastructure. They have done things the way they needed to be done. They are one of the teams now. Like you can't deny it. The same way you can't deny it with Wrexham. It's not a show with 2311. And the Daytona 500 was an example of that. It showed us that. One last thing here: 9 cars finished within 0.3 of a second of Reddick at the end, even with the carnage happening. So it's wow. That I think is fairly normal at a restrictor plate track, but 0.3.
Holy shit!
So yes,
that's crazy.
Really, anyone's race, and Reddick. I mean, his final moves up there to go up top, then come back down. It was like watching a video game. it was again. It showed his true prowess as a driver.
And bake.
Yes, was fun to watch. Anything else, boy? Go in a circle. Go in a circle.
Fuck you, Danica.
Yep. All right, boy. Ring him up. Hit the button. All right. So I'm going to give an honorary third strike. I'm going to take Kamala's place here. Turn to the Olympics. And Alana Myers-Taylor, the bobsledder. Or the bobsleigh. Yes, the monobob is what it is.
Monobob.
She won her first Olympic gold after she laid down a track record run in her final run. She was second to last to go, by the way. So there was only one woman to go after her in her final run in the women's monobob. It was Myers-Taylor's fifth Olympics. She was already the most decorated woman bobsledder in Olympic history, and at age 41, she's the oldest woman to win an Olympic bobsled medal and oldest American woman to win gold at the Winter Olympics. She had previously won 2 silvers and 3 bronze before this this is her first gold, right? Which I think makes it even more special. Before that, and her 6 medals now is tied with Bonnie Blair for the most medals by a U.S. woman at the Winter Olympics. Alana Myers-Taylor, that was awesome. Right, and what was cool too is I forget the other American girl. She went down first, was in the lead. Then Myers-Taylor came around, usurped her with that great run, and then they both were sitting there 1-2, waiting for the German girl Nolte, who was like the reigning world champion, and I think maybe even the defending gold medalist, come down. And she had a slight bobble; you could see it, got a little squirrely. And that was all it took. And Myers-Taylor came out with the win. I think Nolte finished second. Kaylee, I forget her name, finished third. So that was awesome to see. And again, great to see her get her first gold, her 5th Olympics. You already said she's won more medals than I think any female bobsledder ever, but never gold. Right? The old... always the bridesmaid, never the bride, Leon.
Did you see Matthew Tkachuk?
Yes, that's why I said it.
Draisaitl.
Hilarious.
The funniest thing. Hey, Leon. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride, eh?
But you know what's funnier about that? It's an idiom. It's like the Archer episode. Draisaitl's German. Do you think they have the same idiom?
Metaphor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I was laughing about it because it's hilarious for him to do that with the nature of the fact that, the Panthers always beating the Oilers and all of that. But I was like, does he get it? Does Draisaitl get it? It's obviously he knows the words because he's, I'm sure, been speaking fluent English for longer than Tkachuk has, right? But does he know that colloquial metaphor, that idiom of what that means? Or is it just...
I hope so.
I think it would make it better if he didn't. Right, wouldn't that be so American? It's literally Archer. Yeah, it literally is Archer.
He doesn't get it. I didn't realize how much we use idioms.
Yes. But, yes, Myers-Taylor, who I believe is a former softball player at George Washington, GW.
Okay.
So, I thought very cool to see that. That was what the Olympics is about. 5th Olympics, in her 40s, finally gets it done.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it. Like, Jason Kelsey talked about the going down on the bobsled and how rough it is. Because he was like, I'm thinking, it's going to be kind of fun or whatever. We're just going to cruise down this thing. Like, we're not going too hard or whatever. And then he's like, I got banged around like I was playing football again. He's like, I've got metal bars into my ribs. We're sliding around, hitting wall, like doing all that stuff. He's like, that was physically like exhausting and brutal on your body. And then he's like, when it was done, he's like, I was like, thank God this is done. Like, damn, that was way, way worse than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I think there was a good perspective of, because you look at it, you're like, that can't, like, okay, you're moving the stuff, yeah, you slide, but like, what is it? He said it was so loud. Your head's banging around, like it's rough.
Yeah, Colin Jost, who does Weekend Update on SNL and is
Yep.
also
ScarJo.
Thank you. Had very similar things to say. He went down on a run and almost word for word what Kelsey said, which I thought was extremely interesting because Kelsey's a Hall of Fame athlete. Yost, yes, Yost isn't, but for them to come away with pretty much the same thing really shows what it is about. That it is crazy, like it's nuts, and it's one of the reasons that we love the Winter Olympics is everything they do seems to defy logic and like why are we doing this again? Like, this is insane. What, you want us to slide down at 80 miles an hour in a little thing that you built in an ice chute tunnel on a thing that you built in your garage that you don't even know if it's going to fall apart?
I know, that's what I think is the best part about it, is that like skeleton is just, it just looks like a sled, right? Luge looks like almost the turtles in gym class. Remember those?
Yeah.
The little like square thing, like it looks like that. And then bobsled looks like something you built for the Pinewood Derby.
Yeah.
Or what's the box, the soapbox. Yeah. Soapbox Derby.
Like something out of Hey Arnold when they like race each other. The Mauve Avenger.
The Mauve Avenger, yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Someone needs to name their bobsled the Mauve Avenger.
Oh, I'm sure it's happened before. If not, we will be the first. This is how we start.
Let's do it.
Our team.
Absolutely.
I'm the pilot. That's what they call the driver.
You? Absolutely not.
Oh yes.
No way. No, that is me 100%.
No, you're gonna pussy out. You're gonna hit the brakes.
Not.
You're gonna hit the brakes. No brake. All gas, no brake. You go for the win.
I have a better feel than you. I know angles better.
Bullshit. No. Football is all about angles. Ask Joe Thomas. Blocking is all about angles.
Nick,
angles and positioning.
At the driving games. You sucked at them.
You should have seen.
You're not as good of a driver.
You should have seen me at the barcade I was at on Friday, drinking
and I'll whoop your
ass. A 40, and I was destroying on the Midway racing game. I had to stay on because I kept winning and getting a free race. So
no,
all gas, no brake.
I'd rather start another team than have you be the driver.
Fine, I'll just do monobob.
No chance in hell that I would have you drive over me.
Nope. Wrong.
That's absurd.
Wrong.
Take.
Wrong.
No.
Wrong.
Wrong. Of your massive ego.
Wrong.
Goodness, that's a ridiculous take.
Hit the laser. Douchebag.
You want the laser?
Yeah, hit the laser. Douchebag.
You know what I like?
I love gold.
I want a gold medal.
Yes.
That's what I want.
And we got a gold in that. Alana Myers-Taylor, golden. I guess we have time for one more golden thing if you want to bring that up. You want to hit the gold thing again?
Yeah, give me a second, because I'm about to hit the
I love gold.
Also, with the Winter Olympics...
There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
That's actually a perfect segue because I was just about to talk about long track speed skating, which is the Dutch's thing.
Yeah.
Right? They've had royalty show up to these things before and watch just for that event, the long track speed skating. But I'm going to focus on an American because that's what we do here. Jordan Stolz. He's the first person since Eric Heiden to win the 500 and 1,000 in the same Olympics. He's also the first American man to win multiple speed skating golds at one Olympics since the aforementioned Eric Heiden. He's the real deal, this Jordan Stolz kid. Taking out the Dutch one by one, just like Michael Caine would have wanted.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
The indignance with which he says that is delivered so perfectly. And what's so great, too, is watching that scene. Mike Myers, obviously he, is in character and he knows what he's about to say. But his reaction's so great. He's like just snaps or like, what did he just say? This is what everyone's thought is. the shock of it. But yes, Jordan Stolz, I believe from the great state of Wisconsin. I could be wrong, but what I loved is they were showing him training, and it was like Rocky IV. He's doing box jumps in his basement onto a freezer, like one of those long freezers that are like whatever couch height. He's doing box jumps onto that because he doesn't have anything. He's got some bar down there that he's just like ripping pull-ups on. Right? It's like, and it's all made of wood. Like none of this is legit. It all seems extraordinarily dangerous. But I was like, this is like watching Rocky going through Siberia, doing this stuff in the barn, right? About to take down the Soviets. He's about to take down the Dutch. And it was all very fitting and was awesome. So
that's great. Did you see, there's a post about a lot of these Winter Olympic athletes, their side jobs, like their day jobs or whatever that they have. And it's, a lot of them are, jobs that are part-time, right? Your coffee barista, construction manager, or not construction manager, concrete pourer.
I was saying construction manager part-time,
no,
my ass.
Concrete pourer, working at all these different small things. And then there's a curler. Her job is dentist. I'm like, one of these is not like the others. That's an actual legit ridiculous full-time hard.
She's a doctor
job.
For God's sake.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you call a doctor that failed out of medical school?
Dentist.
A dentist.
Yeah, who needs them? You're an anti-dentite. You're a rabid anti-dentite. They
should have their own schools.
They do have their own schools. Great cameo, by the way, if you want to come full circle to Austin Powers, Robert Wagner, who may or may not have killed his wife, but that's beside the point. He's number 2 in
yes, I know
in Austin Powers. Well, no, Robert goes back to the joke where our Elliot in the Morning's one of his favorite jokes. What's the only kind of wood that doesn't float? Natalie wood.
God.
It's Elliot, one of Elliot's favorite jokes. I feel like he's told that many times and to the same reaction each time. Never change. Never change. Anything else before we move on to our favorites?
No, let's get to our favorites.
All right, so that's going to take us to our favorites segment, brought to you as always by One Legacy Title and Escrow in Jacksonville, Florida. Follow them on Instagram at One Legacy Florida and visit them at onelegacyflorida.com to see how they can help you with your next house closing. One Legacy Title and Escrow, because your legacy matters. This week, who suggested this one, boy? Patty? AJ?
Patty Van Nuys, yeah. Patty Van Nuys.
Suggests his best favorite places to have a beer. And then we just think it has to be a beer. It's not a cocktail.
Yes.
Not wine. Have a beer. Has to be beer. Favorite places to have a beer. Boy, since you wanted to
crisp, cool Miller Lite.
Yeah, would you like to start?
Would you eat it then? I know I would, and then I'd wash it down with a nice cool Budweiser.
Thank you, Harry Carey.
Anyway, my favorite places to have a beer. I'm going to start with an honorable mention, and it's the first 2 days of March Madness, where I sit there and I take off work, and at noon, I crack open a beer. And it's one of my greatest joys in life, is that March Madness first beer. I love it, and I'm locked in for 12 hours of college basketball. And then I get up and I do it again the next day. And it's beautiful. My next one, the golf course. Typically on a hot summer day, I know a lot of people, maybe they'll choose transfusions or something. I prefer the beer on the golf course. I think you get that locked in zone, of 3-4 beers during a round, maybe a little bit more. And you kind of get that okay, now you're feeling good. You're playing a little bit better than you would have if you didn't drink anything or if you drank too much or whatever. So I'm a big golf course beer guy. I would rather do that than cocktails. Number 4, your local dive bar / pub. It could be your sports bar, whatever it is, whatever you like to frequent. I have that one in the 4 spot. That you sit there, watch games with a pitcher, or go to the Irish pub and grab yourself a nice Guinness. Always a good move. Great atmospheres in your local dive bar and pubs, and hopefully the bartenders know who you are. That's when you know you've made it. The next one, number 3, the back deck in the springtime. When it starts to get warm out, still cold in the morning, but you're finally over the winter, starting to get a little bit warm out. Sun's beating on you on the back deck. Crack open a beer. I did that after the lacrosse game on Saturday, and it was beautiful. It was so nice. Daughter was taking a nap. I sat out there, had two or three beers, and I was like, this is nice. Dogs just running around the backyard. Didn't have to speak to anybody. Wasn't listening to anything. Just drank 2 beers. And I was like, this is what I want to do.
2 beers. Like, if you lived in my house, that would constitute you having a drinking problem.
Well,
according to the person who else lives in my house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Anyway, the next one, the ballpark beer. A hot summer day at the ballpark. Baseball has to be baseball ballpark, right? Is there any other kind? But baseball field, hot day in the summer.
You said grave danger.
A nice beer. It hits different. A beer at the ballpark hits different on a hot summer day. Not an indoor stadium. Has to be outside. That's one of my favorite places to have beer. And my number 1 is the tailgate on a crisp October morning. You have a beer at 7 a.m.
Because your team sucks and is playing at noon?
Correct.
Hey, I lived that the entire time I was in college, so yes. Well-versed in that.
We did that a lot too.
Well-versed in that, sorry.
Yeah, we did that a lot too. It was a struggle to get us to have night games. I don't know why, but maybe it had something to do with shutting down a hospital parking lot for a day. I don't know. But you tailgate on a crisp October morning with a beer in your hand when it's like 45 degrees out and you can just feel football. Feel it in the air, and then you just crack open a beer and like, yeah.
Sure you don't have testicular cancer?
God, I loved it. But you know it's going to be a good day. Win or lose, we still booze. So those are my favorite places to have a beer.
I like it. Good list. I have 2 honorable mentions. Honorable mention 1 is a basement. In a basement. Doesn't matter. Something about a basement just makes you feel alive, and that you're inside, but you are completely separated and isolated from everything else happening in that house. And don't try to give me the Frog River finished room above garage. No, that's bullshit. That is not the same as a basement.
Basements are different.
Yes, not even in the same category. It's only there in the same category of like square footage for when you try to sell the house or whatever, or living space. But no, basement is different. Give me a beer in the basement. That is awesome. Other honorable mention is in the backyard. Whether it is sitting on the deck, like you said, I enjoy that a lot, and like a rocker, or maybe you have a fire pit of some kind, or you're gathering in the backyard, or whatever it is, just in the privacy of your property, but you're outside. Yeah, I guess is a way to put it.
I like that.
Yep. Number 5 is, like you said, a bar or any drinking establishment, right? But brewery could be thrown into there. Same type of thing. You're going to business.
With the same. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to a business and you're paying for a beer, and you're sitting down and having the beer with, whether by yourself or the other people there, right? So
I specifically did not want the brewery. I wanted the bar. I don't know. There's something about sitting at the bar. A lot of breweries don't have the bar seats.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm with you.
I can't go. It's hard to go to a brewery by yourself, right?
It's hard to go to a bar by yourself.
Raw, I do it all the time.
Again,
I travel.
If you lived in my house, that would mean you have a drinking problem and you drink too much.
It's because I travel for work, and I'll go. If you travel for work and you go sit at a restaurant, you can't sit at a table.
Why
you have
not?
To sit at the bar.
Like a loser.
Like a loser? No, you have to sit at the bar, and sometimes that's one of my favorite things. You sit at the bar, you talk to the guy next to you about whatever bullshit came on TV or something, like who lost the game or something. I mean, I was in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and made them change the game to the West Virginia Cincinnati basketball game.
I feel like that's only acceptable at the airport bar. Should have had airport bar on there. That's always a fun.
I'm not an airport guy.
I would.
So expensive.
Yeah, but part of it is like the idea that you are
that time doesn't exist.
Yes, that I can sit in there and I'm like, I don't want to get on this flight. This is stressing me out. I want to slam 4 pints of whatever I want right now, and this person next to me is doing the same thing.
I'd rather do a whiskey than drink the beers at the airport bar. And I'll tell you why. High
for your buck.
High alcohol content, low volume, because I don't want to be having to get up and down on the plane to go to the bathroom.
That's a very valid point. Like, it depends on length of flight, where you're going. You're right. If you're gonna slug a bunch of beers, you either know that I'm peeing before I get on here a couple times, or I'm gonna have to get up and go to that lavatory, and who knows what's in there.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to walk over. Like, if I'm not in an aisle seat and you have to climb over someone, it's just, I don't want to do that. So that's airport. I'm not big on the airport drinking, but if I were to do it, it wouldn't be beer.
I think that's valid. I think normally I don't get a beer either, but it just depends, right? I know if I'm on the plane, I'm not ordering a beer.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless I'm doing some Boggs type of event, I'm not ordering a.
Right, that's why we do it to honor his memory.
May he rest in peace. Oh, you're the ghost of Wade Boggs.
You just drank 50 beers.
You did? All right. I'm sure
rum and Coke would go great with my chicken.
I'm sure he ate some rum and Cokes too. You just said 8 rum and Cokes, dude. You're getting a little buzzed.
No, just one.
Make it a double though. Like, call him the Chicken Man. You know Wade Boggs ate a whole chicken before each game.
It's absurd.
That was the thing. That's why he was called the Chicken Man. Yes.
May have had 362 lifetime. Whatever it was.
328.
328.
I believe it's 328. You could check me on that. 7 batting titles, I think. 5? Something absurd where it was like he was batting like 350 every year. But
yeah, let's see, batting titles 5.
Boss Hog. There's a stretch. I think it was like 5 and
Boss
6
Hogs
years.
Is 328 lifetime.
Yeah, fat redneck from the Dukes of Hazzard. But yeah, so I will go with bar, just a bar. I'm good. I prefer, like you said, at the bar, in a preferably dimly lit place.
100%, yeah.
Yes. Right. Number 4.
There's something different about a dive, right?
There is
local dive that your pub, right? There's something just completely different, right? There's a lot of times there's a little too modernization with the bars, too many bright lights, right?
No.
Not enough edge in your bartender.
I don't want to see anything that's really happening. Like, I want to be able to say, I didn't see that.
I'm looking at 4 TVs, plate of wings, a beer, and the bartender to go, I need another one.
Mm-hmm. And the slide. Yes. It's always good. Number 4. You brought this up before. Golf course. Definitely golf course. Mick Ultra, I think, would be my favorite one, followed closely by a Miller Lite. But Mick Ultra tastes the best on a golf course. I don't know what it is. I mean, the fact that they market themselves towards that makes so much sense. And maybe I'm being, influenced by the commercials and everything. But man, does a Mick Ultra just taste way better when you're sitting in a golf cart outside as opposed to even sitting outside at a bar watching a TV? No, that doesn't do Mick Ultra
I
justice.
agree with you. I agree with you. The only time I'm having a Mick Ultra is probably on a golf course.
Now, I will have it if it's like offered as a bucket. Like I'd rather take that over a Bud
Yeah.
Light or a Coors Light.
I can't drink Bud Light. It's undrinkable.
Yeah, it's not good anymore.
No.
I mean, I would have it. I would if the option was that or Miller Lite in a bucket. I would ask the table, but there are times where I would lean towards the Mick Ultra bucket. To be honest,
Interesting. Okay, interesting.
But golf course beer, great. I love the fact that sometimes there's someone driving a cart full of beer that you can buy some from while you're playing. I love the fact that you can buy some before you start and some in the middle of your round. That's, America, right? Like, I love that. But Mick Ultra golf course beer. Number 3 is a concert.
Oh, okay.
I like a beer at a concert, right? It's just something about, getting everything going and you're just like wanting to pound beers. Something with that.
Sweating your ass off.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. Last concert I went to probably had like 8 beers.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, no, I did.
By the way, Richmond has a new concert venue they put in last year. Awesome. Smaller venue, but because I, know I guess my wife is her company does some of the like VIP stuff. So when they give out tickets, it's all the VIP, all you can drink from I think it's 2 hours before the concert starts up until a half hour before the concert ends. All you can drink. And I was like, oh, I'm about to put on a clinic.
Yeah. Yeah,
concert beer's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, concert beer. And what's nice too is if you're going to see a concert that has multiple acts, you can kind of time it out very similarly to like quarters or periods in a hockey or football game. In at the end of towards the this act is about to end, right? Towards the end of that act, I go to the beer line before everyone else. I grab 2 tall boys. For the most part, I'm good through the next act, right? That act ends, I go get a couple more. And until you get to the final act, which may play a little longer, you're pretty much set. And if you time it correctly, you're not really missing much of anything at the concert, but you're getting your beers in. And like you said, boy, you're probably sweating even whatever the weather is, right? Inside or outside, you're probably sweating a little bit at the concert. So that beer helps you.
I assume you want the beer is going to hit a little bit better, a little different when it's that outdoor hot, July night, right? Humid and you're just sweating.
See, I don't even need that. Last concert I went to was in September. Was Under Oath, Rise Against, and Papa Roach, and it was an indoor/outdoor venue, and we were standing outside, and it wasn't warm, especially for that time of year. But we're standing right next to the beer booth. I'll walk over, get 2 more, sitting there, and Rise Against. All right, and I know they're about to be finished. Right there, you grab a couple more. Papa Roach takes some little break. He's talking during it. I can grab a couple more, and you're good. I don't even think I got to that many. But, you kind of time it out. In that indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter. You're good. Doesn't have to be hot and sweaty. I actually prefer to not be that sweaty and dying. I want it a little cooler, which brings me to number 2 is like you said, the tailgate. Now, am I always going to be drinking beer at a tailgate? Probably not. I'm probably going to, mix it up and stuff. But you are correct in, hey, I'm tailgating. Doesn't necessarily have to be for a football game, mind you, right? Like a NASCAR race, you're tailgating. I'm drinking beer that entire time. I will not be touching anything else unless it's one time when we were at a Richmond race, these old guys in their 60s had an RV and they took their RV to every race. Literally, they're retired and going to these places, and they just had all these jars of moonshine like real
Yep,
moonshine.
That's exactly that's exactly what else you drink.
Yes, and they came up to us as we were just pounding Budweisers and Miller Lights, and like, hey, you guys want some? I'm like, is this gonna make me blind? Probably not. Okay.
This ain't no 5X whiskey. Bart keeps it cheap.
Yeah. So yes, NASCAR race tailgate. Yeah, I'm drinking beer. The college football one, I'm probably, it usually depends on time of year, depends on teams, depends on a lot of stuff, right? Depends on if it's supposed to be a good game or not, right? Like, are you seeing two crappy teams? Maybe I'm, pounding beers instead of having a couple cocktails, or other way around, right?
I guess maybe your UVA tailgates might have a little more cocktail in it, but my West Virginia tailgates, I mean, it was beer and tequila sunrises was was the drinks of choice for people, but I would stick with I would go beer tailgating more. I like that. And then I will say you do the occasional shot during the tailgate. Usually someone has a bottle of something that they're passing around. Right? That's always one of those during a tailgate, but I would say you're mostly sipping on beers, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not. Like you said, I'm probably drinking some sort of liquor-based drink, and but like I said, NASCAR tailgate is definitely all beer the whole time. If I'm offered a beer at a tailgate anywhere, I'm going to say, obviously depends on the beer, right? If it's a wheat beer, which is right, someone offers me a Blue Moon, I'm not going to take it. I will,
You'll
use
be a porta potty.
Exactly. I'll use my paycheck to find a beer vendor and buy it a beer, right, of some sort that's not a Blue Moon. But for the most part, someone says, "Hey, you want a beer? This is what we've got here." All right, I'll drink as many of them as I damn well please. Right. So that's why I guess I want to clarify, more of a NASCAR tailgate than other one, but still same idea, right? You're pre-gaming to go into an event. And number one, that kind of leads me to that, is ball game / sporting event, right? You made the differentiation between baseball game and other sports. I'm not making that differentiation, because I enjoy a beer just as much sitting in a minor league hockey game than I do sitting at a baseball game.
That is a good beer. Minor league hockey beer is a good beer.
I enjoy that beer just as much sitting at Monster Truck Rally, Monster Jam. Right, I enjoy that just as much. I enjoy that beer just as much as a NASCAR race. I enjoy it just as much if I was watching, a football game. Right, so sporting event, ball game, beer, that's my favorite. That's by far the favorite. Like that.
By the way,
anytime I will oblige and not think twice and be excited about it.
I get it. By the way, I saw someone talking about the Olympics and their beer selection. There is none. It's Corona. That is the only beer selection at the hockey for the Olympics. Apparently, if you go to some of the other events, you get you get something other than a Corona, or you have the option to get something other than Corona. But at the hockey stadium, it's only Corona.
That's interesting. No Peroni?
No. It was just Corona.
That was the first commercial I saw when I started watching the Olympics this year. It was a Peroni commercial.
And maybe that's at the
Nastro Azzurro,
like the outdoor events in Cortina. Maybe I don't know, but at the hockey stadium, it's only Corona.
Yeah, we should ask is our international / Olympic correspondent, Miss Sarah Dawson, who has been chronicling her Olympic journey for us that we've been posting onto social media. I think I'll put a new one on maybe later tonight, tomorrow morning. But she's been to some cool stuff. She was added the U.S. Canada women's hockey game, the first one. She was there. She was at the figure skating team event that we won. She was at the women's snowboard half pipe when Chloe Kim came up short. Right, I think last night she was at ski jumping. I forget which one. It was either the freestyle, the free ski big air, or the long distance jump. One of those she was at. So she's been to some cool things. She got some good stuff, and maybe we'll have to ask her because I think she posted some picture where she had a beer. So we will have to ask her what the hell's going on or what has transpired there in Italy for the Olympics. But I could see concessions for these type of things being just a giant CF.
It was Corona or Aperol Spritz was like your two choices.
That's my choices. What is happening?
It's
God,
Italy.
that's horrible.
It's not America.
That's horrible. I'm sorry, Italy. What are you doing? Of all the things that you have done right, pasta, pizza,
espresso,
wine, coffee, gelato,
limoncello,
sambuca.
Mm-hmm. They don't have the beer selections really, but I think it's more of like I don't think other people understand what we're looking for and what other countries are looking for, because the guy that posted like you can only get Corona, he said the Eastern Europeans were pissed.
Oh really? That's funny. Because they're probably, what the hell is this swill? Yeah, they probably never had that or seen that before. That's funny. You're right. Because they already think any beer that we have over here is piss. Right?
Correct.
Like, so a Corona, which is not high up on our totem pole, really.
No. Well, actually, it's the most sold beer in the U.S.
Modelo
is it Modelo or Corona?
I saw something that Modelo had the last 2 years, like the most beer sales, whether in money or volume, something. I think it was money. Modelo sold the most.
Oh, you're right. I guess Mick Ultra just overtook Modelo. You're right.
But it's not like volume, right? It's not like, oh, they've sold the most physical amount of liquid. They've made the most money, right?
No, not according to Forbes. Mick Ultra became the best-selling beer by volume.
Really?
In America.
So Modelo was that?
Modelo is top beer in sales.
Yes, that's
Mick Ultra's by volume.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And you know what? I buy that.
That's interesting.
Modelo's good. A nice Modelo is.
I do like a Modelo. It's way better than a Corona.
I agree. I agree totally. And Corona did themselves in by just sticking to the beach motif, because
that's why I don't understand why they're at the Winter Olympics in the Dolomites in Italy. Like, how the hell does that happen?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows, but it's provocative. That we know.
True.
Anything else before we move on to what to look for?
No, I think we're good. I do like that none of it, that we did not say wedding, and we did not say, like, that's a cocktail to me.
I agreed. Right. I didn't say beach either, because
not say beach. I was thinking about it, but I was thinking about putting a body of water, but
I like a lake better.
See, the other ones I think are better.
My issue with a beach is the sweat factor. Kind of like how, yes, you can wind up drinking a lot because you're sweating and you're hot, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm enjoying it. I'm almost doing it out of survival. Like, I need to, and if I stop, I'm going to die. Like, that type of thing. So, like, to me, drinking on the beach is not that enjoyable, because it's almost like I'm doing this just to stand the beach, because I'm not a big beach person.
I think that's my issue, is I enjoy drinking on the beach. I do. I'm not a beach person though.
Mm-hmm. I don't like going to the beach without drinking. If you're gonna have me go to the beach without drinking, I would rather go sit back at the house or go sit at a lake and drink.
Correct. I agree with that 100%.
So that,
the lake is one that I think I feel like maybe we could have put.
Just haven't had enough experience.
That's the issue.
Now, when I was at the Poconos, with for Griswold's bachelor party at the lake. I enjoyed that a lot, but I don't know if I drank a lot of beers. I don't remember for a lot of things.
Depends on the time of year, right?
Yeah. Well,
we were sitting there at the lake in the fall or whatever. I'm drinking a whiskey.
We were in the fall. We went to an Oktoberfest and we were drinking beer, so that was fun. But yeah, at the same time, I don't know if I'm out on the boat. Obviously, I'm drinking beer. Right? If someone's driving, obviously, yes. I'm not driving or sailing the boat. But if I'm...
Sir, you cannot operate a boat drinking alcohol. Sounds like a wager to me, boy. Let's get me a 6-pack.
Yeah, right. Obviously. But if I'm sitting in the boat, I'm not bringing, like, a cocktail. I'm bringing beers. I'm drinking them on the boat.
Yeah, 100%.
But even then, like, a boat beer, to me, is similar, kind of like the party bus beer or, in a vehicle beer. It's hard to drink. Like, things are moving, sloshing. You're not sure what's going to happen next, right?
You're roadie to Camden Yards.
Yeah, it's not that enjoyable. They're almost out of form and function, as opposed to enjoyment. Enjoyment. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But obviously, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would.
Say, how could you not? Like, it's the beer, 100%. Or it's the beach. The beach is the number one. Like,
I'm sure there's a lot of people that would say that. Yeah, absolutely. Right, or what about a play?
You can get Kayla and our mom went to the ballet. You can get beers at the ballet.
Oh yeah, I saw Hamilton few years back.
But again, I'm not getting a beer.
What did we get? No, you're right. I didn't get a beer. I got a coastal cocktail, like a orange crush in a can, I think, or whiskey lemonade in a can.
Yeah, that's the thing is I'm not getting a beer.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was not the beer crowd. If I walked in there, 2 tall boys, they'd be like, "Get out."
I kind of like this opera crowd. Feel tough.
Yes. Oh, I think I said that line like 3 times, and Jordan was like, "Shut up! Stop talking. I don't get it." So, these people here think you're tough. You don't even know the history about Hamilton. You don't even know. But yes, no, good. All right, so that's going to take us to what to look for. Brought to you as always by VB Cookie Co. Looking for the perfect way to stand out at the next event you are hosting? Well, custom cookies are a timeless way to have everyone still buzzing even after they leave. Look no further for your cookie needs than VB Cookie Co. Follow them on Instagram at VB Cookie Co. and message them to order yours today. Whether it is a bridal shower, birthday, engagement, or baby shower, their team will work with you to make all your cookie dreams come true. VB Cookie Co. for the sweetest moments. Boy, give the people something to look for.
So I'm sure you're probably going to hit the Olympic aspect of this a little bit. So I'm going to stick with college basketball here. VCU versus St. Louis. I haven't checked St. Louis's score today. I hope they won to keep them going. But VCU has ripped off, I think, 6 straight or something, or maybe 9 straight, whatever it is. They're near an at-large.
But they got to win this game.
Yes.
Is this at the Siegel Center in Richmond?
I believe this is in St. Louis.
Make it a better win if they pull it off.
At St. Louis, yeah. So, and I keep saying the A10 should be a 2-bid league, and VCU just got off to a tough start. They already have 6 losses. You're not going to get an at-large with that many losses playing in the A10, even though they're on the bubble right now. This would be a massive win for them if they could get it. So hopefully St. Louis won tonight. I'm not sure if they did, but that's a huge game. Something that maybe not the mainstream that you're going to look at, but huge game that has major impact for who gets into March.
Now, what hurts the A10 for that multiple other bid is some of these other like mid-majors, like the West Coast Conference, right? Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Santa Clara is, I believe last time I checked Joe Lenardi's bracketology, they're one of the last 4 teams in. Santa Clara is very good. I don't know if you watched their game against Gonzaga. They lost.
Yes.
But that was a very good team, right? They've got those things, and then you have some like the Mountain West has as much as they have been overrated in years past, massively. They still have a shot for I think two teams in 2 or 3 teams.
Pick them to lose.
Yeah, I mean because they always lose.
Yeah. St. Louis, by the way, did lose to Rhode Island tonight.
Oh, that's not good.
That hurts really bad. Dang it. Oh, anyway, that means St. Louis has to win. They are right. You lose one game, all of a sudden it goes down.
Yeah, again, well,
next one,
big part of that again is like I said, you're competing against St. Mary's, Santa Clara, Utah State, San Diego State, who really is the only Mountain West team that does anything in the tournament. Let's be honest.
Correct.
Right, they made a championship game, lest we forget. Right, so you have all those teams that you're backlogged with. Not to mention like the Virginia Techs of the world, the Miamis, these type of teams that are the Auburns of the world that
Tech did lose to Miami tonight by 1.
Oh, well, yeah, like you're competing against all those teams, so it makes it very tight. Mizzou, throw them in there. Indiana, throw them in there, right? There's a lot of, I mean, as we said before, parity across the board in some of these things, and that's where it becomes hard. How do you differentiate between a 6-loss VCU team and a 8-loss whatever, or Tech or what, right?
Indiana.
It becomes almost impossible.
Iowa.
So you need to have those resume things built in to help you. And you're right. VCU's they need to win this game. St. Louis needs to win that game.
St. Louis now has to win. Absolutely. That loss to Rhode Island really hurts. They have to win. The next one, Houston versus Arizona. Could have a 1-seed impact, but really that's just you want to see 2 of the best teams in the country play, and you want to see Houston defend. Like, you watch that game. Houston I love watching Houston no matter what. I like listening to their press conferences after, even if they lose. I mean, they're the guys on their team, the young guys too. They're talking about they lost to Iowa State in Hilton Coliseum, which is on my bucket list to go to a game at Hilton. And someone asked about the crowd, and the guy's like, whatever, it's on us we lost the game. Like, the crowd doesn't have an impact. It's what we do. And I'm like, yeah, I love that that's not even a thought process in them. Like, crowd was loud, whatever. They don't give a shit. No, they lost the game because of the way the guy hit a shot.
It's a Kelvin Sampson coach team. Like again, it goes back to everything we've talked about, right? Culture is top down. And these types of guys like a Kelvin Sampson who builds culture, builds programs. He's not taking in a lot of transfers, right? It's not like every team he has each year. He maybe will have 1 transfer out there. Him and like Matt Painter at Purdue, for the most part, every single one of those guys are homegrown, and those are the guys that they essentially handpick. And if you're not going to have that mindset, Kelvin Sampson's not going to recruit you. Matt Painter's not going to recruit you. They're not going to put in that time to develop you when I said this before, and it's one thing that young kids really have struggle with. There's always someone else that they're willing to take your spot and do those things, right? So Kelvin Sampson is flat out like, this is how we do things here. And if you're not going to do it, if you're going to make excuses, you're not going to play, you're not going to be here. Yeah. So I think that is just a huge reflection on coach and the program he's built.
100%. But that's my what to watch for. Houston, Arizona, VCU, St. Louis.
I like it. All right, so we'd be remiss if we don't bring up the Olympic hockey finals, right? So on Thursday, U.S. women face the Canadian women. The U.S. is just dominated and steamrolled everyone so far at this Olympics, giving up 1 goal.
How much postage does it take to send a letter to Canada?
Who's it going to?
Canada. It says, Dear Canada, you.
It never gets old. Never gets old. But yes, so I believe every Olympic gold medal winner in women's hockey since it's been introduced as a sport has been either the U.S. or Canada. But like I said, this year the U.S. has been a force to be reckoned with. I believe they just set the Olympic record for longest shutout streak, like continuous number of minutes without giving up a goal. So they're on that type of level. However, and it's still Canada, right? This is their thing. You cannot overlook them. Even if we did beat them down the last time, technically that game means
beat a team twice.
Yes, it's hard to beat them twice, and technically that game means nothing. It was a preliminary round game for ranking and seeding, so that should be good. Hopefully, we see our women pull out on top. Now, like you said before, you brought up that shot that the guy made in Iowa State. Heisey, is that his name?
Yeah, I saw that.
His sister earlier that day scored a goal for the U.S. women's hockey team in whatever game they were playing. So that's a pretty awesome day for the fam.
Clearly, they're pretty damn good athletes because that shot, that was like, as a shooter, that was like the most beautiful thing I've seen in a long time. The catch and shoot, didn't take the ball down, just boom, quick release against Houston. Best defensive team in the country.
Oh, yeah. The closeout, you could say, was a little late, but it wasn't that late.
He was traveling when the ball was traveling. He was right there because, like, sometimes if you get a little too antsy with that, you're going to hit the guy, right? I thought it was perfect defense. I think it was just a better shot.
And let's not forget the pass, because the pass allows him to...
Because it's hit. It's
right exactly.
There. It is boom.
Get that ball up that quick.
Position.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And the men's semifinals for Olympic hockey will be Friday. The finals will be on Sunday. We don't know who's in that yet. Quarterfinals, I think, were just set for that. And I could be wrong, but I believe we play Sweden and Canada plays Czechia.
Correct.
And the other ones, Switzerland and Finland and Slovakia and Germany, I believe, are the other quarterfinals. On to the Premier League. One game that I thought was interesting, Man City and Newcastle. Right? Two teams spend a lot of money, have a lot of money.
Dallas Cowboys.
Remember the Cowboys, the Cowboys, and Jennifer Lawrence. Who's that dragon girl from Game of Thrones? Khaleesi.
Yeah. Khaleesi.
Yes. Man City Newcastle, again, is an intriguing fixture in the Premier League this weekend. NASCAR is in Atlanta. Always a fun race. Get to kind of open it up and see them go. They're in Atlanta this weekend. And then finally, Napoli plays Atalanta.
Okay.
Yes. It's Atlanta, but with an A before the L. All right.
Gotcha.
They play on Sunday. Two teams in kind of about the top 10 in the table in the Italian Serie A. But wanted to throw that little tongue twister in there. Anything else before we wrap this up, boy?
Nope, I'm good.
Right. That's going to do it for us here at What Caught My Eye, or WCME Sports. Remember to follow us on all of our social media. That's on X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Snapchat, and Threads at WCME_sports. Our episodes drop every Wednesday at noon on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And all that information can be found on our website, WCMEsports.com. Be sure to check out, should be coming out soon, our NFL draft preview with Mr. Tony Pauline, the self-proclaimed biggest Led Zeppelin fan on the face of the earth. He's also NFL draft expert and senior analyst for, what was it again? Essentially Sports. Essentially Sports, yes. Had that right. Make sure you check that out. That should be coming out in the next coming days with the NFL Combine starting at the end of next week. For the boy, Stephen Vesci, and the not pictured man, Stephen Comlo, I'm the coach, Nick Vesci. Don't forget, be decent to each other. Have a good one, and we will see you next time. Take care, Guatemala.